Hello. I just wanted to come and just share a few things. Um, Share some things that I've been going through. Um, yeah, just taking a few breaths and get anchoring into myself. Welcome. How are we? How are we going? I just wanted to share a few things, just in regards to my life and the experience that I'm having. Yeah, so we're living in interesting times, very interesting times, and I know that gets thrown around a lot. Um, but I just want to be, I just want to share that, just be wary of, not even weary, but just be aware of certain things that are taking place right now. Not everything is as it seems. It's really not. Um, and there's a lot of trickery, illusions, and just like player energy. I would say player energy. Um, and yeah, it is often the ones that are talking about other people projecting, that are projecting. It is often, in my experience, the ones that are accusing other people of doing things that are actually doing the things. So something that I've really learned, or kind of embodied lately. I don't really like to use that word as well because it's thrown around a lot. And when we begin to use terminologies and we start to throw it around in ways to identify things, it actually creates a matrix around it. And a matrix is something that just kind of loops and loops and loops and loops and loops, and obviously with every word, there is an infinite amount of expression that we could use that for. However, when we start to use words like masculine and feminine and good and bad and rah 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 rah, all of these terms, shadow work, blah 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 blah, all of this shit that we, I guess it's not shit, it's actually just life. Processing your emotions is actually just how we live in this human body. It's a normal, actual thing, but we have had to identify, okay, I'm doing shadow work, otherwise, I don't feel good enough of processing my emotions, or, it has to be given, an identity, or this, or that, or rah, rah, rah. And I think identities are also really crucial and really important and a really beautiful way to play and weave our way through this experience. However, they can be a trap. They can be a trap. I identify with a lot of things, but I also know that I am nothing and I am everything. It's just really interesting. The safety that our identity gives us, whether that's a healer or someone that helps the world, or, especially these spiritual identities that we give ourselves. I sometimes feel like they're based in ego, and ego is not a bad thing. I love my ego. But it's just based in that, the mind, it's based in how we're perceived, it's based in what people think of us. Generally our identities come from that. And now is not a time for us to be separating from each other, from that person is doing this wrong or that person is doing that right. You know, there is so much energy and different types of frequency on this planet. There is people that won't resonate with you. There is people that literally are just on a different path. And identifying that and being okay with, okay, I don't actually need to engage in that. I don't need to subscribe to this connection. I can unsubscribe. And I feel better about it, you know? And then there's going to be people that resonate with you, that vibe with you. But also, I feel like it's super important to be able to hold space for people that aren't in resonance with you, aren't in alignment with you, aren't in the same frequency as you, you know? And just holding space for people of being like, that's where they're at. Not needing to change or fix or do anything to anyone, you know? Just hold space for it. Hold space for it. I know it's uncomfortable because it's probably different. You know, I think it's hard to hold space for something that unbuckles your experience of reality. But living in a multi-dimensional way, we understand that there's multiple types of reality. Every time we do something different, we're entering a different reality. You know, there's different thought currents that amplify different realities and different experiences and existences and all of that. Just, you know what? I'm like, you know what? You know what? My biggest prayer and intention for this year, for myself and for the world, is that we all just live in peace. Live peacefully. Like, we don't actually need to fight. We don't need to fight. We don't need to fight anything. We can just live in peace. And you know, there's so much fucking shit going on in this world, and you know, all of these beautiful practices and spiritual teachings and esoteric medicine. It's really important. It's really important to understand these concepts and to understand how this stuff works, because it's been removed from the majority of our lineages, and it's been held in spaces where very few people are allowed in that. It's in a controlled environment. And these people are using these practices to do what they need to do. So, you know, and not always for good. Not always from the heart. Not always with good intention at all. If anything, quite the opposite. So, you know, when people begin to start using these practices in like the good way, it really amplifies the good and the love and the, you know, the acceptance. I feel like good is acceptance and bad is denial. Like when you deny something, like it's only when you deny something that's bad. If you accept it, it's always going to be good. It's always going to be good. Yeah, that's all I really have to share with you today. Yeah, thank you for listening.